What's up, guys? This is Preheat. So as you may already know, Prepatch is right around the corner. In fact, it's probably coming out the same day you're watching this video. And there's a lot that's changing in World of Warcraft, but for Fire Mage specifically, there is not a whole lot changing. So this isn't going to be a guide on how to play and just talking about all the ins and outs of Sun King's Blessing and all that. I'm going to assume that you already have an understanding of how to play Fire Mage. And you're just looking for the changes that are happening with the Prepatch, and you're looking for maybe what sort of talent builds to run, if anything is different in any way, right? And just going to give you like the quick and dirty of it. We're going to try to go through this really quick. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so to start things off, I do have a Wowhead guide, and this should be live whenever you're actually watching this video. So it isn't live yet, but I'm just going to show it here. So in terms of Fire Mage strengths, weaknesses, none of this is really changing, right? So the biggest change probably for Fire Mage, other than obviously the new talents, is the fact that Ignite now spreads with Fire Blast, which means it's more or less kind of an automatic thing. But yeah, aside from that though, we have the new talent system, we have some other weird ins and outs. Obviously tier gear won't work anymore, right? For the most part, Fire is very, very, very similar. So to start things off, I want to just talk about a build. So we have the new talent tree, but we do not have enough points to really do anything too crazy with it. That being said, there is something that you should know. So we have a talent now for Sun King's Blessing, right? And this talent actually will override the legendary if you're wearing the legendary. So what I recommend is instead of going for the Sun King's Blessing talent, stick with the Sun King's Blessing legendary. And then if you have the legendary equip, what you can do is you can pick up the talent for Fiery Rush, right? Since we don't have enough points to get both of them normally, this way you still have both of them, right? So with Fiery Rush, this is just our current tier bonus. Without picking up this talent, you'd be losing your tier bonus, and it is quite a bit of damage, right? So I definitely recommend going this talent build right here for Raid. Obviously, there could be other builds that emerge, right? And other things that could be fun to play, but this is what I'm going off of because this is what my Sims are telling me and my playtest is telling me as well. So other notable talents on the left side, we have this whole new class tree, right? Just make sure that you're picking up the ones that matter for damage. So that's going to be Overflowing Energy, that's going to be Rune of Power, that's going to be both of the Tome talents, and then I recommend picking up either Temporal Anomaly or picking up the other option, which is a Temporal Warp. So for this last one, it really just depends on your own preference. I think generally speaking, time Anomaly is just better. But there definitely could be cases where you want to go Temporal Warp instead, because having your own lust could be really useful if you need damage during a specific part. So, any sort of damage burn and execute, this is probably going to be better. Or anytime your raid isn't lusting on the pull, you may want to instead go with Time Anomaly. Time Anomaly is a little better. It's 1 to 2% better, but anyways, it's really just going to be up to you and what your playstyle is. The other big notable thing here is that we're actually gaining greater invisibility, which is more defensiveness for Fire. And, there's other talents in here as well that are pretty nice, like this Blast Wave talent with the increased knockback. We also get Ice Nova. Ice Nova is a very, very good AoE button. You just press that. It does a good AoE damage. But for the most part, this is all stuff that you should be already pretty familiar with. On the right side, so I have the setup here, the same one that you saw on Wowhead that we were just looking at here. So in terms of new talents, right, we do have a couple new ones. So Fervent Flickering, this is going to make it so that you randomly get Fire Blasts back whenever you have enemies ignited. Obviously, the more enemies that you have ignited, the better this is going to be, right? And then other notable thing is you can actually opt out of AoE completely here, right? So I don't even have Flame Strike as this build. I could go pick up Flame Strike. I could get the improved Flame Strike. I could get Flame Patch, etc., etc. But I don't really recommend these talents for Raid. I think for Raid, you pretty much want to stick with as much single target as you can muster here. I think that's going to be better, unless you're on Moat Duty, obviously, right? But anyways, not going to worry about that too much. In terms of other talents that are probably going to, surprise you, we also have Firestar now pretty much all the time, right? Because Firestar is just one of these talents where we kind of have to pick it to get down the tree. On the opposite side, we have Pyrotechnics. This talent is really bad damage-wise, but the only other way to get to Flame On, which is the one that we absolutely need, is going to be by going through the AoE side. So if you wanted to, you could sacrifice one other talent, probably from the Ashes, and then you could go for Flame Strike, Improve Flame Strike, drop Pyrotechnics, and then go Flame On, and it would roughly accomplish the same thing. Also, good to note, so on Flame On, one of these talents right here, obviously you have to have enough to move on, right? But one of these talents is actually not nearly as important as the other one. Just 1 point of Flame On gives you 2/3 basically of the value of this talent. And always recommend at least having one talent in here, but you don't necessarily have to have two. It's really up to your own preference. Obviously, I'm going to go with two just because it feels better to me, but it's going to be up to you on how you do that. And then in terms of other talents, right, we could give up Cauterize if we wanted to pick up another talent up here before the second gate, right? You know, obviously, if you want to live dangerously, you can do that, but I recommend just sticking with Cauterize. And then stuff like From the Ashes, it's just like a generally okay talent. It's not like insanely good, but this is, I mean, it's pretty good, right? Like the mastery bonus you get from this just passively is nice. Might be surprising to you, but this is actually worth a good amount of damage, right? So I definitely recommend in single target going something like this. I think it's going to give you the best damage possible. And of course, with this build, we do not have Sun King's Blessing, so we need to make sure that we absolutely have that legendary equipped. It's very, very important. So you're going to still wear your Unity legendary. You're still going to be Sun King's Blessing. You know, nothing's really changing in terms of your covenants, right? In terms of raid, right? It's the same stuff that you're already used to. The only difference is just that the organization is just a little bit different, right? So, I mean, yeah, we lost our tier bonus. We gained it back as a talent. We have Sun King's Blessing as a legendary. Everything else is the same. We just have more passive damage. Okay, so in terms of changing the playstyle itself, the only big thing is just that we have Feel the Burn now. So this is a talent that basically does the same thing as the old Blaster Master, the predecessor to Infernal Cascade. This just gives you more mastery, right? And it stacks 3 times. It has a 5-second duration, same as Infernal Cascade, but it affects you outside of combustion. So we do want to keep this up as much as we can. And, you know, ideally, since we're playing Firestarter, we're also going to start our opener just a little bit differently. So during combustion, you're going to have Feel the Burn and you're going to have Infernal Cascade as well, right? From the conduit. So it's very, very important that you're timing your Fire Blast correctly during your combustion so that you maintain this buff. It's very important. Both of them have a 5-second duration, so you don't really have to worry about them separately. Just make sure that you're keeping your Infernal Cascade up during combustion, and Feel the Burn should follow as well. Okay, so in terms of other talent builds, and this is just from my pre-patch guide, right? We already talked about the raid build. We have Mythic Plus builds as well for you. So the best thing to do if you're trying to do Mythic Plus, just trying to get a little extra damage there, is you just want to drop the least impactful single target talents, right? So it's going to be stuff like Firestarter. It's going to be stuff like Pyrotechnics. You know, you can take a point out of Critical Mass or Flame On. It's really up to you on that one. But the big thing is just that you make sure that you pick up the AoE talents, right? So that's going to be Flame Strike. It's going to be improved Flame Strike just because you have to pick it, right, to get to Flame Patch. And then Incendiary Eruptions. This is a new talent. And what this talent does is it basically makes it so that every 8 seconds, you just get a Living Bomb for free. The Living Bomb automatically casts. It doesn't cost you a global or anything like that. It's just free additional damage. So this is going to be probably pretty good for AoE. And this is what I'm recommending generally, right, with the Sun King's Blessing Legendary. But if you want to go a little bit more AoE, what you can do is maybe dabble with Disciplinary Command. And so obviously if we're picking up Disciplinary Command, then I recommend going back into your talents and choosing Sun King's Blessing. That way we still have the SKB effect, right? And then, you know, obviously going into the AoE pack, you'd want to make sure that you proc your Disciplinary Command with your Combustion. And then in this case, I've also picked up Living Bomb and Conflagration and given up Cauterize as well. This is obviously not recommended for everyone, right? This is kind of a niche case for like extremely heavy AoE. But if you want to do the most AoE damage possible, I think something like this is probably going to be best. And also keep in mind that you can pick up Shifting Power as well on the class tree. So stuff like Ice Nova and Shifting Power are just going to be really good ways to do additional AoE damage. The only thing that you should really be aware of, though, when it comes to Shifting Power is just that it's not going to be as powerful as your normal Covenant Night Fae Shifting Power, right? So just be aware of that. In terms of other builds, I do have a couple other ones that are kind of out there that I'm going to suggest. So stuff like Hyperthermia. This is just a Firestorm Legendary effect, right? But it's packaged up again into a new talent form, right? So basically, this is just whenever you activate Hot Streak, you have the ability to just machine gun Hot Streaks, same as the Firestorm Legendary. This can be really, really fun if you have like huge AoE packs. But I think just generally speaking, it's probably not going to do as well. But who knows? Maybe if you're like doing, you know, crazy pulls with like 15 targets on average, it might be better. And then the last build I have here for Mythic Plus, and this is a little bit out of the box, but I did want to show it to y'all. So the idea here is an Ignite Cleave build where you do not Flame Strike at all for Mythic Plus. So this obviously requires a target that's sturdy enough for you to just, you know, single target into it and cleave your Ignites. But picking up Master of Flame is going to allow you to spread your Fire Blast, your Fire Blast Ignite to 4 additional targets. So it's going to be 8 targets that will be affected by your Ignite. And then, of course, we pick up every single talent that affects our mastery. So that's going to be increases mastery from the Ashes. We also have increased charge of Phoenix Flames here to boost that. We have Feel the Burn for more mastery. And then we're going Fiery Rush here so that we can just have even more Fire Blast during your combustion. And obviously, this would be wearing Sun King's Blessing as well. So one thing that's really nice about these new builds is you don't actually have to go and put these points in yourself. What you can do is just take this copied import string right here, And if you open up your talents, you'll see a button on the bottom left that says import. If you click that, and then you put in the string, and then you just give it a name, right? So we'll just call this AoE. It'll automatically put your talents that way. So you don't actually have to put in the talents yourself. Obviously, I encourage experimentation, but you can just use those strings if you want to. And of course, those are going to be on my Wowhead guide, which will be linked in the description below. Okay, so I want to briefly cover how to play, and keep in mind this is on live, but it's literally the same thing as PTR, except for we don't have Field of Burn, right? I am spec'd into Firestarter right now. The reason why I'm not playing on the PTR is just because the PTR is down, unfortunately. But so what we're going to do is the same opener as we always do, except for since we have Firestarter now, right? Since you're pretty much always getting this talent, what you want to do is you actually want to delay your first combustion just a little bit. You want to build up that first SKB ahead of time. Okay, so on the pull, right? Like let's say they pop less and everything. The big thing here is you're just keeping your Field of Burn proc up, right? While you're just using your, your Fire Blast. You're trying not to cap on those. And you're just building your way up to 7, right? That's the idea here. So we get to 7, right? And then as we're hardcasting this is where we would go into our normal cooldowns, right? And it's the same deal as before, basically. You just use your, your Mirrors of Torment if you have that, right? Or if you're Night Fae, you could go in like I'm doing here, where as soon as we drop our rune, then we're going to use Shifting Power. And obviously you would use your trinkets, your potions, all that stuff. I didn't do that in this example, but this is the idea. And then once you're here, just continue along with another SKB. So, since you're going into combustion with that first SKB, it does make it quite a bit easier to be able to extend that along the line right here. And now we have a third. And we're just going to let this go off. And, I could have definitely extended that there. But, yeah, it's really just going to depend on your haste and all that good stuff. Okay, yeah, so for Venthyr, it's basically the same thing. And I'm going to hit this target dummy that's actually going to hit me back. So hopefully this doesn't kill me for this experiment here. But, yeah, it's the same thing, right? You're just delaying your Mirrors of Torment and your combustion until it's time to actually use it once you have your SKB available. So... we'll go ahead and just get started here. So we really just want to get our stacks up, and we'd obviously be watching our Field of Burn as well here normally. All right, so here we would use our Mirrors of Torment into Pyroblast. Right at the end there, we're going to pop our combustion and just do our normal combustion rotation, right? With any trinkets, anything else you got. And right here, we'd be Rune of Power in again. Right, and I'm probably going to back away from this target because I don't want to die to it, right, obviously. But, at this point, you would just continue along with your SKB like you normally would. It's literally the same as on live. The only difference is just you delay your Mirrors of Torment, you delay your combustion, make sure that you have your SKB ready. Once SKB is ready, cast Mirrors of Torment, cast your hard cast Pyroblast right at the end, use your combustion, pop, everything like you'd normally do, same combustions as always. And from that point on, it's literally the exact same as it was previously. Everything is exactly the same, except for you just keep up Field of Burn as much as you can. That's it. There's literally nothing else different. So, yeah, I just want to end this video by giving you just one quick recommendation. Obviously, Troll is still going to be very good for the Horde, but now Horde does have the option to go Tauren as well. In terms of like which race you want to go, I don't recommend that people spend money and swap their race to Tauren. I don't think it's worth it that much, but if you want to, definitely go sim your character and see which one looks better to you. I think it kind of depends on a lot of factors, like if you have other buffs that you can stack with the Berserking buff, right? But Tauren have the additional 2% damage to crit damage, and that's really, really good, right? So definitely consider Tauren, but I wouldn't say that you necessarily have to go Tauren, right, if you don't want to. Anyways, that's all we have for today. I want to keep this very short and simple, right? I just want to give you all the update on what you need to know about Prepatch if you're going in and you already kind of have an idea of what's going on live, right? This is going to set you up for success. So as always, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. All links will be in the description below to the Wowhead page where the written guide is that goes into much, much, much more detail about how to play this. All right, thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one.